Hey everyone, Luke here from Bedford Camera and Video, and I've got Michael from Fujifilm, and we're going to be going over the new GFX 100. So Michael, tell me a little bit about this camera.
Well, it was an evolution out of the 252 megapixel cameras that we had out last year. This is a 102 megapixel camera.
Wow.
Large format or medium format in a common parlance. It's about 20% larger than 35 millimeter film. Is a weather sealed body. Weather sealed EVF, so it's great outside. But what's really unique about this camera is not just the super high resolution, but it has in-body stabilization.
So it has IBIS built in.
It has IBIS on the whole sensor shutter assembly itself.
Wow.
The shutter assembly itself is actually on a subframe that's floating on the main frame, which is all magnesium alloy.
Okay.
So even if you drop it, that subframe is actually isolated from the outer frame, so that minimizes any kind of chance of
damaging it. So Michael, what type of recording media does this camera use?
So it's got 2 card slots, and we use SD. So you can use regular SD cards, but we strongly recommend you get the UHS-2 cards, the ones with the double contacts on them, because they have a much, much higher write rate on them. The raw files on this thing are like 210 megabytes each.
So they're definitely large.
If you're going to be shooting bursts, you do not want a slow card because it's just going to be a painful experience.
So what other inputs, outputs does this camera have?
Over here on this side, so we have a USB-C. So that is for tethering. Also, you can run external power into the camera through the USB-C port by way of a big power bank. There's a micro HDMI here, so you can take the video record out to 422, 10-bit 422 uncompressed to a recorder. We have an AC power input, which could also be like a 15-volt battery. And then we have a microphone to headphone jacks right here. And on the other side of the camera is a standard 2.5 millimeter phono jack for a basic electronic release cord for
shutter release type thing. What's the frame rate of this camera?
It will go up to 5.5 frames a second. Now, that is when you're in 14-bit mode. So if you're in 16-bit, it slows it down to 1 frame a second. But still, for other cameras of this sensor size, they all pretty much top out at about 1.5 frames per second maximum. So it's a screamer, it really is.
So at 5.5 frames a second, 14-bit, 102 megapixel RAW.
5 frames a second.
5.5. 5 frames a second. Okay, perfect. So this camera, in comparison to a lot of the other cameras that are in this realm, has kind of a big upgrade on it compared to the other ones as far as autofocus, right?
So the other 2 cameras were contrast detect only for AF, which is highly accurate, but it's not real good at tracking. These it's a phase detect, contrast detect hybrid system, and it's the entire sensor, so a total of 425 AF points. And it's corner to corner, it covers the whole sensor. Really amazing. This thing has eye tracking. You can follow people and it will stay on the eye. It's amazing.
That's incredible. So there is a different accessory that you can utilize with the EVF as well that helps the tilting, correct? Just like you had on like the 50S, you could utilize that tilting bracket still, right? Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it is the EVF itself on this, even though it looks like the one off the 50S, it's completely different. So those EVFs are actually not interchangeable. This one is a much higher pixel count. It's an OLED and it's a faster refresh rate. So you can't swap them, even though the mount is the same. But you can use the tilt adapter. With this one, it's the same tilt adapter. And that lets you do cool things with the viewfinder. So Michael, a little bit of difference in this camera compared to the 50R or the 50S is the fact that it has 3 screens. Can you tell me what those are utilized for?
Yeah, we did a design departure from not only those, but also from our entire X series line of cameras, which people have come to love with the old knob style of camera design. And we did it primarily for the weather sealing. So it's now wheel driven, but you have an LCD screen here up on the top, which is also backlit, which is camera info, and you can change the view on this, which is really cool. So you can have a histogram there, you can have it look like wheels, but then there's the LCD on the back, of course, and there's another, what we call a sub monitor down here, which not only has camera info, so if you decide you want a completely clean look on the EVF, but you have info here. You can also decide to have a histogram here instead if you want.
Okay. All right, so it displays a lot of different information that you can utilize there.
Yeah,
That's
it's all
fantastic.
very customizable. The views are customizable.
Absolutely.
In terms of the camera layout also is we have now an integrated vertical grip.
Right.
So the buttons, the horizontal buttons are completely replicated on the vertical orientation. The shutter, the AF joystick, and all the function buttons, they're all basically in the same exact place as when you are in horizontal mode.
Fantastic. So does it still utilize the same battery that the 50S and 50R are currently utilizing?
Yes, it is the same battery.
Okay.
However, they built in a longer battery tray now, so
Okay.
you can actually run 2 in there at once. You can also then charge both batteries in the camera if you want by way of the AC adapter. So.
Okay, perfect. So that was another question that I had was, because it does have IBIS and it's a 102 megapixel sensor, how is the battery life on it?
Well, the official measurements according to the CIPA specs, CIPA, is 400 shots per battery.
Okay.
So it gives you 800. And I've always found that, which is about the same as with our X series.
Okay.
I've always found that it lasts longer than that, but it all depends on how much you're doing playback and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. So roughly though, about 400 per battery.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
The other thing is, I do want to talk about the movie mode.
Okay.
Because it's very special because it's a giant sensor.
Right.
And like I said, it does full cinema 4K, which is more than the consumer ultra high def 4K.
Okay.
So that's the Hollywood format, is 17:9 instead of 16:9. It has an internal record rate of up to 400 megabit per second.
Wow.
And that will only go up to 30p, but that's because it's a giant sensor. But it is full 10-bit and will do log, the Fuji log,
Okay.
and it also has hybrid log gamma, so it's HDR ready as well.
Okay.
The LCD, while it may seem like not a big deal, we're one of the few that have a 3-way tilt screen. So it does, 45 down, 90 up, but something that we've had on the other cameras is it tilts out to the right. So that's nice if you're operating on a tripod, say
Right.
you're shooting kids and you don't want to be hidden behind the camera.
Right.
But it's also really good for overhand verticals and for underhand verticals.
Right.
It's very, very convenient. You want to get down really low on the ground for
Right.
a low angle shot.
You don't have to
it's
be crawling
very
on the
simple.
ground.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be crawling on the ground.
That's
yeah.
fantastic. So is that touchscreen as well?
It is a touchscreen, yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
So 3-way tilt and touchscreen.
Right, so you can use the touchscreen to change settings and controls and stuff,
Okay.
or in playback, you can scroll through with your finger, you can do pinch zooms and stuff
Oh, okay.
like that.
Wow. So what's the price point of this camera?
$99.99, that's $9,999. So,
Wow.
yeah, which is actually really affordable in this particular market.
Right, right. In comparison to other cameras from other brands, that's really inexpensive.
Right.
So there you have it. That's the GFX 100 from Fujifilm. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit like and subscribe to our page. If this is a camera that you want to add to your arsenal, go ahead and visit us at bedfords.com or visit your local store. I'm Luke from Bedford Camera and Video. This is Michael from Fujifilm, and we'll catch you next time.